Good afternoon. Welcome back to another video. My name is Matt Tolson. In today's video, I'm going to be doing an in-depth, full-on review as well as first thoughts of my brand new 2019 Jeep Wrangler Rubicon. This is a two-door. I have it in the Stingray. A few things I'm going to be talking about are a few of the features, some of the costs per features, as well as an overall general first thoughts of what I think of the car, and some of the things I've already kind of noticed that I dislike and some things I do like. So, without further ado, we're going to hop right into the front of the vehicle and go over some of the exterior features. So, as we work our way to the very front, as you can see, I got the plastic bumpers. One thing I should note before people start asking, I bought this car off the lot. I did not special order it. They just happened to have it over in Colorado Springs at Ferris C Jeep. That is where I purchased the vehicle. I actually drove the truck out there. It was about a 12-hour drive. It took about 3 days. And then I drove this thing back, so it's already got about 1,200 miles on it, and I've had it for now 2 weeks, so it's been a ton of fun. So I can kind of give you my first thoughts as well, you know, because I've driven it for a while, but it's only been 2 weeks. So, but I just want to mention, I didn't order this. I bought it straight off the lot. They just happened to have it. Good price. Gave me a good price on my truck. So, now that that's out of the way, I'm going to be talking about the plastic bumpers, as well as the plastic fenders and non-LEDs. One thing I wasn't too picky about was the fact that it didn't come with LEDs in the fenders or the headlights. The headlights I'm a little bummed about. I do not like the halogens that it comes with, yellow. I think it's ugly. It really looks old, to be honest, and especially for how big the halogens are right here. It's a little frustrating. The LED pack is $1,000. I wouldn't have been minded if it came with it, but it's definitely nothing important because I do plan on getting rid of these and putting on either the Poison Spider or Nemesis fender flares because the plan is to go to 38s and coilovers here in the next coming months. So, but as well as the plastic bumper also has halogen lights. So I got the dynamic trio here. I got 3 lights that are all halogens, which I said, not a big deal. I bought this car off the lot, so can't be too picky with what you get. But as you can see on the JL, something you may not have known is they did change up the front end quite a bit. Instead of the vertical front grille, they did add a bump here to the grille. Kind of adds a more contour to the front end because the Jeeps were very boxy. Kind of reminded me of Jeep. They kind of look like G-Wagons, you know, very boxy. But what they've done is they've changed up the front end quite a bit to make it more sporty, as well as flow better in the wind, that's for sure. Driving back 12 hours, I was going about 85 most of the time, and the wind noise is still definitely there, but it's not nearly as bad as my 07 that I used to have, where the windshield is basically vertical, and it just felt like you were in a wind tunnel the whole time. So definitely a plus that I have noticed so far. But as you can see also in the Rubicon, this is something they offered in previous models, is the Rubicon hood is a little more aggressive looking, and I think they did a very good job. These vents are not functional actually. I was actually cleaning out the car and notice that they don't go through. Big bummer, whatever, not a big deal. It's a 2-liter turbo under here, which is the $2,000 option, or $1,000 option, sorry, with the 8-speed transmission, which is a $2,000 option, just to let you guys know. So you know when you're going into buying a car, there's $3,000 in packages already. Base price on this vehicle is $38 grand, and so $3,000 on top of that, you're already at a little over 41. So let's hop into the side and continue working our way to the back of the vehicle and then to the interior. Before I go into the packages of the exterior I went with, as well as the color, I'll show you guys the key a little bit. It is very interesting. So the key itself has obviously your unlock lock button, which I'll zoom in, and then it's also, I went with the remote start, came with it. Once again, didn't order it, so super fortunate I had that. But the big thing with these new JLs is the keyless entry, because they now have push to start. So obviously the car's already unlocked, but you get this new knob right here. So this is to lock it. Hear it unlock, and then it opens up. Just like that. Key fob dies. You still do have the manual entry right here, which don't really have yet to have a key fob die on me, and I've had the keyless start before. So let's get on with the side of the car. And as you can see, now that we are in the sun, the car is in the sun a little bit, you can see that Stingray really well. It's a really cool color. The other gray was closer to my truck, which I initially was going to get but it was more expensive. It had leather seats. This was also at the dealership. Had leather seats, and the hardtop was painted, if I remember correctly. So that's $1,000, and the leather's like another $1,000 option. So they wanted, I think, $2 or $3 grand more for the vehicle, and those are options that I don't really want. I don't really like the leather. We'll talk more about the cloth seats once we get to the interior. But as you can see, I went with the two-door with the hardtop. Here's those plastic fenders. I honestly don't mind the plastic. That being black, they will fade over time. Jeeps are notorious for that, having a lot of plastic and it fading. But that is not really the reason why I'm going to upgrade them. I would like to get some smaller fenders and paint them so it matches the body. I think it'll look really good once I start changing up the wheels and stuff. But another thing I should mention before we get too far back is, if you didn't know, when you get the Rubicon, you get a higher lifted Jeep instead of the Sport. There's no Sahara package when it comes to the two doors. They just go Sport, Rubicon. The Sports, I want to say, are in the $30,000 ballpark, and the Rubicons start at the very top of the $38,000 to $45,000 mark, even more, I'm sure, if you package it specifically. But I actually paid $39 for this. This is a 2019, so it's technically a year old now. It had been on the lot for a while, so they were willing to move on price a little bit, which was great, and they were real flexible with my vehicle. So the deal ended up working great. It's a 2019. There's already a bunch of 2020s out there on the lot. It's not a big deal. It's still brand new, so not concerned. But the main reason why I did go with the Rubicon, among many other things, as well as the interior, the look, all that stuff, it has the stock Dana 44 axles, so you get a bigger axle, bigger footprint, which is a lot. You get the sway bar disconnect, as well as the front rear lockers. But the big thing was those Dana 44s. When you're going to 38s and 40s, I mean, once you get to the 48-inch tire ballpark, probably have to upgrade the axles. I do plan on re-gearing it once I get the bigger tires, but to start, the Dana 44s will work. They are great axles. They've been running them on the Jeeps for quite a long time, and they're proven to work out very well with lifted vehicles. But I'm not going to talk too much about what I got planned for it, and more about the vehicle. So, working our way to the back, you can see it is very short. Obviously, it's a two-door, so there's no door here. So, when you want to get to the back seat, you have to move the front seat forward. That's how most cars, coupes, stuff like that, that's how all of them are. It's not a big deal, it's super easy. But one thing I did notice, the back seat is obviously smaller than the four-door, among one reason. The stand-up room, or the leg room, is a little bit shorter as well. But it does have more room than my Tacoma, which is surprising. I had the four-door Tacoma. I think it's called the double cab, and this has more room. Yeah, it's a little harder to get to, which is kind of frustrating, but there's more room back there, and I think that's great. A lot of people were, ragging on the fact that you're getting a two-door, no room, no storage. Yes, the trunk space is pretty small, which I will show here in a second, but it still works, and there's plenty of room. But I'm not going to bore you with kind of the exterior. I'm sure a lot of people are more concerned with the interior packages that I went with, if at all. So let's finish up. We'll hop around to the back, show you what I got going back there, and then we'll hop in the interior. Now we're working our way to the back. Something new they've changed up since the previous models is adding these more connected body lines. I plan on replacing this bumper here very soon, but I think it looks very good how they, make it look how it looks like it flows a lot better. Most aftermarket bumpers don't wrap around and come up like that, which is fine. It's not a big deal. I think they still look good. Something you get with the new JLs is the updated taillights. These are a bigger taillight, and they have a little more modern of a look. They're not as boxy as most of the other features on the car. They kind of have more rounded edges, and they also have this instead of this being just parallel. And they also have black casing. On the older ones, it was just all red. So this is mostly black with a little bit of red here and here. So that's a lot cooler. As you can see, I got the bike rack on there. If you haven't seen my last video, make sure to check it out. I'll leave a little clicker card right there. I installed this new hitch because the two-door didn't come with a hitch. I wasn't really too concerned. I got the quadratic one, which I talked about in the video, but I didn't get the wiring harness. I don't plan on ever towing with this. If it comes up that I need to tow, then I'm SOL. I towed, I think, once with my Tacoma, and it was for when I moved, and I don't think I'll ever do that again. I'll just get a truck, or the U-Haul truck. But, so, I went with the hitch. As you can see, the bike rack doesn't fit on it without a extension piece down here, which you can get. I got at U-Haul a while ago with my other Jeep, so I've had that for 5 years or so. And then the rack will fit. It is a little frustrating though, even with the rack down, still hits. So that is a little frustrating with these bike racks. I've tried my dad's bike rack. It's a 1-up, and it also hits. But as you can see, you can get mostly open, and I haven't really used the trunk space that much because I don't really put a lot of stuff in my car, so it's not a big deal. So as you can see, I got the tire. Another new thing, obviously, with these new JLs is the relocation of the backup camera, or actually, is with the new Jeeps is the backup camera and taillight setup. It's got a bigger housing back here, so I'm not sure really what they were doing with that. But you got your third taillight, and then the backup camera is actually in the center of the wheel. So kind of interesting. It actually is way cooler than the new G-Wagons, or in older G-Wagons. When you hit it in reverse, and the camera's up here, you get stuck seeing mostly the tire. So it's really cool that they put it right here. You get a good view. Obviously, it's pretty blocked right at the moment with the bike rack, but luckily with that 2-door and that short wheelbase, it's super small, so I don't really use the backup camera too much, except when I'm trying to get real far back. So yeah, it's really cool how that is. It's a really good backup camera, which I'll show once we get an interior a little bit. I'll put this back down and then show you kind of how the backup camera works. But that's about it for the exterior. If you have any comments or questions about the exterior that you want to know, maybe the pricing of certain things, feel free to leave in the comments. But if that's it, let's hop into the interior and go over what I went with there. Real quick, while I had the car started, one thing I'd like to show you, obviously I just started with the key, but when you get in the first car, you gotta hit the start button, because the car isn't fully on. So once you hit the start button, foot on the brake, the car fully turns on, and then obviously you can drive it. So I wanted to show you guys the keyless entry as well as the remote start. Those are a feature in the vehicle, and I do have the window sticker. Keyless entry was $495, and doesn't have the remote start on here, so cool. But I think it's like $500 or something for the remote start, maybe $1,000. Not 100% sure. It's not on here, so that was a little interesting. But now that the car's off, we'll finish going over the exterior of the vehicle before we hop in the front. Now that we're finally in the interior of the car, we can finally go over a few of my favorite things. As most of you know, the JL transformed on the interior light years ahead of the old JKs. If you didn't know, they made JKs in 2018, as well as JLs in 2018. So the 2018 was the first year of this car, and since then they haven't really changed much in the interior. But since the beginning of the JL, they have been killing it with the interior. So I do have my little window sticker thing here, and we're going to go over what I got in the interior and also a few of what they cost. So right off the bat, you got your 8-speed automatic transmission. That package alone is $2,000. If you special order the car, it kind of already gets looped into the cost itself, but keep in mind, $2,000 for an automatic transmission. The stock Rubicons come with a 7-inch screen. So there is a little bar right here, and the screen is only 7 inches. To get the upgraded premium audio system, as well as the 8.4-inch screen, the subwoofer in the back, Uconnect, and GPS navigation, and Wi-Fi hotspot, that is $1,595. Wow. But when you think about what you're getting, minus the GPS, because none of that stuff I ever use, the 8.4-inch screen and the upgraded audio system, that is a big feature for me. I was going to get the 8.4-inch screen if it didn't have it. The 7-inch screen's not bad. It's just a little small in my opinion, especially coming from my Tacoma, which had about an 8.8-inch screen with the same technology as well. So another thing I didn't get was the leather. So fabric, so no cost. This is technically the stock of what comes with the Rubicon. I think it looks really good. It's got this beautiful red and black stitching, and then you got the Rubicon logo right here, as well as, like, I don't even know what to say. This kind of looks like that Under Armour mesh that athletes wear to protect them when they're playing sports. Has a cool kind of look to it. But let's keep hopping in. I showed you guys the keyless entry. That's a $495 option. Remote start, not sure what that option is because it's not on here for some reason. Hard top. So if you want the soft top, that's obviously free. That's considered the stock version. To get a hard top, that is $1,195. To get it painted, I'm pretty sure it's like another $1,000. So pretty aggressive on that. But that's about it. Other than, that's it. So one of the other big things I got was the cold weather group is what they call it. You get heated front seats and a heated steering wheel. Heated steering wheel I think is a little goofy. It's kind of nice. It was kind of nice when it was really, really cold out, but it's not really needed here in Arizona because the lows right now are like 40. So whatever. It came with it. Like I said, I didn't order it. If I did order it, I probably would not have gotten that package just because it never really gets that cold. And the heated seats are really good, especially if you live in a cold area. I usually put it on the one setting, and it gets going like that. Some cars, it takes time to get going. I know in my dad's car, he has a GMC. The heated seats and cooled seats kind of take some time to get going. I don't know if it's because the leather and the seats in those cars are thick. I'm not sure. But the heated seats get going very quickly in this car, and I ended up turning it off pretty quick because of just how crazy hot it gets. But let's get back into some of the new features of the JL. So as you got your lights over here, you got this beautiful red dash. This comes with the Rubicon. You can get it. If the package, I'm pretty sure there's tan interior, and then it comes with a black dash. That's obviously a special requirement. I personally like the black with the red, but to each their own. Another thing is a speedometer cluster. It's got, your center, which is quite interesting. It's got a bunch of tacks on it. It's got the roll control. You can see if your sway bars are disconnected, your MPG, your tire pressures, your fuel economy. One cool thing that Jeep has gone to all digital. So the gas is digital, which is very cool, as well as the temperatures. That's pretty common in cars nowadays. But I think the gas is pretty cool. You don't see that too much. You kind of see that tachometer, but the tachometer is vertical and it goes down as well. So you got a bunch of options there, which are really cool. It's nice to have all those. They're not really necessary, but once again, you are paying a pretty penny for these kinds of cars. So I know some of the 4-doors are getting upwards of 60 grand, which is pretty crazy for a Jeep, but they have stepped it up so much, and it really doesn't drive like a Jeep anymore, And some people are going to say, oh, well, that's the whole point of a Jeep. But in my opinion, when you're spending that much money on a car, it better not drive like a Jeep because that's a lot of money. So much higher and you're looking over the hood instead of kind of like looking up. It's kind of hard to explain. You got to drive both of them to kind of know the feeling. But it is getting a little hot in here, so I'm going to hop out of the car. So I appreciate you guys for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found it very helpful, informational if you're going to buy a Jeep or you already have one and you just want to watch it. Guys, make sure to hit the subscribe button. If you made it all the way to the video, I appreciate that a lot. Make sure to hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, join the crew. But without further ado, this video is effectively over. Stay tuned. I got tons of new videos coming, guys. I have so much planned for this car, or this Jeep, and I know you're not going to want to miss it. There's not too many 2-doors on YouTube, and for the stuff I'm going to be doing, there's not very many people doing it. So I will see you guys in the next video, but just like that, I'm out.